Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Krizia and I am a West Coast University nursing student, and today my video is going to be about should I work during nursing school. I currently am in the accelerated Bachelor's of Science in Nursing program, and I do have about 1 year left. My expected graduation date is January of 2021, but I was recently invited to attend my school's Oxford Honors Program this summer in 2020. That's if the coronavirus doesn't stop us from getting there. So if I do end up getting there, it's going to push me 3 months back. So then I'm going to be expected to graduate in April 2021. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into this video. If you guys like my nursing videos, specifically for West Coast University students, go ahead and click subscribe and give me a thumbs up. You guys can also definitely send me you guys can DM me at my Instagram at Krizia__ on Instagram, and I can definitely help you out and answer you guys with any questions that you have about nursing school in general, about life, or specifically about West Coast University. All right, so let's get into the video. So should you work during nursing school? So before I go into this, I just wanted to go and talk about my work background. And for me, I was someone who was always interested in the healthcare field, being surrounded by nurses. My mom is a nurse, and I have cousins who are nurses, and my dad worked in the hospital as a telemetry tech. I've always been around healthcare and been in the hospital, visiting my mom. But for my work background in college, I attended UC Irvine. I worked at a pediatrics office, doing mostly administrative work, answering phone calls, scheduling appointments, checking patients in, checking them out, filing charts, and preparing the paper charts. And then when I graduated from UCI, I got a job at a family healthcare practice under a staffing agency, where I started off in the phone room where I'd answer phone calls, schedule appointments, answer any questions that patients have, deal with a lot of complaints. It was very stressful, and they moved me to a position where I ended up being a medical scribe, which I loved. That's where I kind of got into a lot of the care aspect, knowing that I wanted to do more patient care experience. So most of the time I worked in small offices, outpatient clinics, and I've never worked in a hospital. And so I currently do work as a patient care assistant. I work under the floating staff, so I don't specifically work under one unit. I float around the entire hospital, and I only work per diem, and I work morning shifts. So I only work one shift a week, and I work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So I have all of that out of the way. Let's talk about why I decided to start working during nursing school and if it has helped me. I started West Coast University of August 2018, and I quit my job at the family practice office of July 2018, a month before. And the reason why I quit my job the first time around and I didn't want to work was because I wanted to see how I was going to be able to deal with the accelerated BSN program. I wanted to get a feel of how it was going to be, how stressful it was going to be. Since I went to UCI, we did have the quarter system, so we had 12 weeks of school. So West Coast University is 10 weeks instead. And so I was kind of used to the fast paced, but the difference was that with West Coast, I only took about 2 classes the most, while at UC Irvine, I took about 4 classes. So it was like a 16 unit load at UCI versus like a less than 10 unit load at West Coast University. So I had a good idea of it going by pretty fast. And I also wanted to see, how my time management was, how my study habits were going to be, what the workload was, how was I going to be able to handle the stress. So I did not work for my first year in nursing school. And once I realized my time management, study habits, the workload, and knowing how to deal with nursing school, then that's when I decided, okay, I need to go look for a job, because a lot of the places that you look for that are hiring nursing students want you to be at least in the program for 1 more year while you work for them. They're not really looking for someone who's a new grad that's about to graduate if you're looking into a position that's not an RN program. So there's a lot of jobs you can look for around hospitals. There's CNA jobs, there's PCA, patient care assistants, patient care techs, telemetry jobs, EMTs, ECTs, a lot of different ways to get your foot in the door in the healthcare field, providing patient care experience. West Coast University is really good at sending out emails on Fridays on offering you job opportunities, with different hospitals. Career Services is a great source because a lot of these hospitals or nursing homes reach out to our school saying, hey, we need nursing students. If you want to send out an email, here's the information, you can apply here. So they do send out resources on different job applications that you can do. And that's how I got the job that I got. So I finally got an email to work at a magnet hospital by me. And it was a per diem shift. I was like, okay, this is perfect. I need to go apply. I want to get my foot in the door. I think it's the perfect time. Because I had a good handle with school. I was getting good grades. I was getting A's. I haven't failed my class. I was pretty good at handling everything. So if you're someone who's looking for a job, there's a couple things that the reason why people work. One is because they have to pay the bills, they have family, they have kids. It's just something that they have to do that they cannot avoid. For me, the reason why I chose to work during nursing school or to look for a job was to get my foot in the door and for it to allow me to gain a lot more experience in terms of providing patient care experience. And I was looking more at the benefits of it. Learning how to prioritize, learning how to prepare myself for patients, how to deal with patients, just working in a hospital setting. So that was my main goal for this work experience. Is something that you should do is to think about, what is my main goal in looking for a job right now in nursing school? Is it to get my foot in the door and get a lot of experience, and so it'll be easier for you to find a job? Because if you create good relationships at your job and what you do, a lot of jobs hire within. And if you can connect with the manager, the nursing manager on the floor, the unit that you work on, that is something that you can definitely benefit from. So that's why I decided to look for a job. It's to get my foot in the door, to get experience in a hospital setting that I've never had, in order to prepare myself to be the best nurse I can possibly be. That way, when I step on the floor as a first day as an RN, I'm not uncomfortable in a hospital setting. So, my chair dropped a little. Okay, so a couple things that you want to look for with the jobs is you want a job that is flexible, because at West Coast University, there's a lot of times that your schedule can change, and there's some weeks that you shouldn't work because that week could be very busy. You want to work, are they offering you a full-time job, a part-time job, and a per diem? At this time, I wouldn't suggest just going with whatever they offer you. I was either going to take a part-time position that was a night shift, but when I went to my interview, they told me, no, we have a per diem, day shift. And I said, okay, hell yeah, I'll freaking take it. So it was a lucky thing for me to get at that time. So look for a job that's flexible, offering you the shift that you want, making sure that they work with you, know that they are aware that you're a nursing student. And overall, just a company that will work with you. You have to look at those things. Don't just go into a job because getting a job while you're in nursing school is a big responsibility. The fact that you're going to be working for a company and it is a possibility for you to work for them, they're going to be monitoring you every time. If you show up to work, how many times you call off, those kinds of things. If you aren't interested in working in a job, you can also volunteer. There's something called clinical care extenders. If you are from California, you can definitely Google that. You can work, I don't know how many times I work, but I do have clinical care extenders that do hands-on patient care experience. They answer call outs, they help clean patients, they help ambulate patients, they do a lot of things that can definitely help you in nursing school. So you can volunteer, work part-time, full-time, per diem, depending on what you prefer. The next thing I wanted to talk about is experience. My experience so far working as a patient care assistant. So as I mentioned before, I work per diem, which is one shift a week. I work 12-hour shifts. And how do I deal with that? Let me go attend to my little son first. Oh, my schedule this term, this was my OB term. I only have 4 clinicals a term. And other ones before that, before OB, you go to clinicals every single week, once a week. And those are 12-hour shifts as well. So this term, I had clinicals on Tuesdays. Then I had my class on Wednesday at 8 a.m. So I had clinicals from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., then class from 8 to 11:30. And depending on the week, I would work either on a Sunday or work on a Thursday at the end. And so I scheduled my shifts around after school, after classes, and after clinicals. That way I had enough time to study. And it was definitely doable because if I worked on a Thursday, I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to study. If I worked on Sunday, then I would have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, work Sunday, and then and then study Monday. And then that would help and that would be about average 4 days of studying. So you do have time to study. You just have to be good at time management and disciplining yourself. Like, I have to study because I have work. You don't want to get into a habit of feeling like you don't have enough time to study, that you end up calling off work, because that doesn't look good and it shows that you're not able to handle, the responsibilities that you have. And these are kind of the small things that you have to start to develop when you start becoming a nurse, because once you get handed a whole load of work and things you have to care for, caring for patients, you can't be on the floor and be like, I can't do this, and you walk off. Like, you can't do that, because you have a duty to serve your patients. That is a thing that when you take on a job, you have your responsibility to show up to work. If you become sick or anything, then call off in a timely manner. Don't call off a lot. Working on the floor for me as a patient care assistant is basically viewed as a 1-year interview to see how am I doing, at my work, how am I doing, because those are the factors that they're going to take into consideration when I apply for a job there, when I become an RN. A couple things you want to think about when working during nursing school. The pros of working is that I was someone I'm an anxious person, and I was an introvert, and providing patient care experience the first time around was very uncomfortable for me. Walking into patients' rooms and like introducing myself or changing patients, because you don't have a lot of experience. And working as a patient care assistant has definitely improved my skill set in providing the patient care needs of ambulating my patients, taking them to the bathroom, emptying out Foley's, monitoring vital signs for patients. Has helped me in clinicals, because when I'm at clinicals, it's like work for me, but I'm working as a nurse instead of being a patient care assistant. So I have those easy basic stuff down, and then while I'm at clinicals, all I need to focus on is being a nurse and understanding what nurses do. So it gives you a perspective of both sides, which I think is very, very important as a nursing student. And so it has helped me it's helped me with experiencing working at a hospital care setting, charting a heavy workload, having to deal with up to 10 patients a day, admitting patients, discharging patients, critical thinking, and prioritizing basically, what kind of call outs are you going to prioritize? A patient who needs to go to the bathroom, or a patient whose O2 saturation is at 80%, or if their O2 saturation is off and it's not reading, or if their tele isn't on correctly, So those are the kinds of things that you learn to prioritize as a patient care assistant that will help you when you become a nurse. And the cons of working is the fact that you work a 12-hour shift. You lose a day of studying. You just have to be really good at time management, and that's the most important thing. There's not really a lot of cons when it comes to working during school. The only thing is, if you're not able to handle working and going to school, then that's the issue, because right now your priority is being a nursing student. And the last thing is to be confident in yourself. If you feel like you can't do it, know that you can. Just understand yourself and understand your limitations. Just because you're looking for a job and you're only offered a full-time position, think about it. In the long run, is this something that I'm really going to benefit from if I work full time, or should I wait maybe another couple of weeks to see if another position opens up that better fits your schedule and better fits, you and what you can handle? I encourage you, if you have an opportunity to find a job that is flexible with your hours and works well with your schedule, you will gain a lot of benefits while working during nursing school, but know that it is a lot of responsibilities when you take on a job during nursing school, but it will be beneficial, when it comes to becoming a nurse. So don't be afraid if you want to look for a job. If you feel confident that you can do it, you will do it. You can get through it. I know West Coast University is so accelerated and Sometimes I just want to break down because I feel like I don't want to do it anymore. I just like want to call off work and be like, I have to go study. But when you push, those thoughts and push those negative thinking, like you'll come out a lot more better. And I definitely feel like having a job as a nursing student has helped me a lot in gaining, patient care experience and just developing the simple skill sets that you'll need when you become a nurse. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to see more, comment down below on what kind of videos you guys want to see. If you guys want to DM me, go ahead and look me up on Instagram at ChrisyAnn__, and I can definitely answer any questions that you have there. Thank you guys.